right, Joe and Louanna, thank y'all so much for coming and telling your Pleasant Ridge story. And so I just want to begin by asking, what's something that you appreciate about Pleasant Ridge?
Well, the people, to me, are the most important part of it, or second most important part. Mm-hmm. The love they show is really what keeps me here.
Yeah.
I like that Jesus is taught and you go by scripture, and children are trained up in the way they should go, and everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
And it just feels like home and family.
I love that y'all just emphasize family. Both of you emphasize family here. And you even said that's what keeps us here.
Right.
And so I love that because that's been my experience as well. It's just such a welcoming church and family oriented. A second question, as you reflect on your life at Pleasant Ridge, who's someone who made an impact?
You know, rather than a person, even though I've had wonderful teachers, Alan Hess, George King, there just were so many. I'm amazed that when we were in the youth, that there was a group of young marrieds that had young children that were our leaders. Wayne and Linda Sexton, Mike and Linda Gorosky, Sherry and Bill Glasgow, Barbara and Benny Edwards. Who am I forgetting? But they had jobs and they had young children, and they chose to invest in us.
Wow.
They taught us in Sunday school and the other activities at the church. They loaded us up on the church bus once a year and took us to Gatlinburg.
The people that, mine is a little, not that far back. James Fleming. I really looked up to him, and my dad. I just watching them, listening to them. Just I've learned more than I could ever say.
Yeah.
And there were many other men and ladies that are involved in this church that I hold in very high esteem.
Yeah.
We had great men of this church, Mr. Counts and James Fleming and Jimmy Creel. Who am I forgetting? Floyd Six.
Yeah, Floyd Six, and then
Mr. Godfrey.
And Helen Six. I mean, I look up to her diligence and just the stay with it attitude that she has is just so impressive.
So these names of individuals that you've called out, one thing that I'm hearing is they were invested in the life of the church.
Very much.
Yeah. Setting a standard for us today. So what's your most fond memory of your time at Pleasant Ridge?
Mine was Mr. Carden. When I was a child, he always had a piece of candy for you.
Yeah.
And then, and this happened in the North Wing, the Bible drills.
Yeah.
How fast you could find a Bible verse. I loved doing that.
Yeah.
One of mine was the day that my Fred, and I can't remember how old he was, but he decided during the invitation that he was going to make his profession of faith that day, and he was about to go, and I said, Joe's not here, and your dad's not here, and the grandparents aren't here. Don't you want to wait? No. He was gone with me in hot pursuit after him down the aisle. But I love that. But I think my fondest may have been sitting with my cousin Nancy Barnett in church back here on Sundays. And we were a threat to get the giggles. And one Sunday, one of the younger children sitting in front of us snored, and Nancy and I just giggled ourselves silly. And years later, we still had not matured any. We were adults with children of our own, and we're still sitting back there. And George was sitting in front of us. He couldn't have been more than 7 years old, and he had his little dollar in his hand to put in the offering plate when it came by. And when it came by, he went to put it in, and he drew his hand back, and he went to put it in, and he drew his hand back. And did it over and over again until Nancy and I were just hysterical. So those were lovely times sitting with Nancy in church.
So how has Pleasant Ridge impacted your family over the years?
Well, I'll say it's had a very positive impact. We have 2 children that are that love the Lord, very productive young adults, very active in their own church. And, it's all from, I tie it all back to this church,
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate y'all coming and sharing your stories of Pleasant Ridge. And clearly God has used this church in you as individuals and your home. And I'm just so thankful for both of you and your commitment to serving Him here. Thank you guys for sharing your story.
Thank you. I think it was going to last quite a few more years longer. You're leading us in the right direction.
We want to invite you to join us on May the 4th as we celebrate God's faithfulness to our community through the life of our church. We hope to see you at the 150th anniversary on May the 4th.